A woman never truly realizes the value of a good man until he's gone. At first, she thinks she has time. She thinks his love, his patience, his loyalty will always be there. But when a good man walks away, the silence he leaves behind is louder than any words. And in that silence, she feels the weight of everything she lost. A woman often does not realize the true value of a good man until it is too late. At the beginning, she may take his love, patience, and loyalty for granted. She might assume that his kindness will never fade, that his support will always be there, and that his presence is guaranteed no matter how she treats him. This assumption becomes the foundation of comfort, and comfort often blinds us to the importance of what we already have. A good man shows love not just through words but through actions. He listens, he forgives, he stands by her even in difficult times. Yet when she becomes too accustomed to this, she can begin to believe that such devotion is ordinary, forgetting that it is in fact rare. When he finally reaches the point of walking away, the reality begins to settle in. She starts to look back at every moment he was patient when she pushed him away, every sacrifice he made that she never acknowledged, every time he chose to love her despite her flaws. The absence of his presence creates an emptiness that nothing else seems to fill. That is the painful moment when realization arrives. The very things she thought were normal were actually the signs of a good man, and now she no longer has access to them. The regret becomes sharper because she knows deep inside that he never demanded much, only love, respect, and appreciation, which she failed to give consistently. The late realization often comes with a flood of memories. She begins to remember the way he protected her in moments of weakness, the way he encouraged her dreams, and how he provided stability when everything around her seemed uncertain. These memories turn into reminders of what she lost, and the guilt grows heavier because she knows she could have preserved that bond with just a little more care and gratitude. It is not only the man she loses, but also the version of herself that felt safe, supported, and unconditionally loved in his presence. The pain of this realization is different from other heartbreaks. It is not just about losing love, but about losing a rare kind of love that is not easy to find again. She might meet others, but deep in her heart, she compares them to the good man she let go, and the comparison leaves her unsatisfied. That is why realization, when it comes late, is not just painful, it is transformative. It forces her to confront her own mistakes, to acknowledge that sometimes we don't lose people because they stop loving us, but because we fail to love them back with equal depth. In the end, the lesson remains etched in her heart. The value of a good man can only be fully understood when he is no longer there. And that realization, arriving too late, becomes one of life's harshest truths. The silence that follows when a good man leaves is unlike any other silence. It is not the kind of quiet that brings peace. It is the kind that echoes louder than words, a silence that carries weight and meaning. When he was there, his presence filled the air with stability, warmth, and reassurance. His voice, his laughter, even the way he asked simple questions gave life a rhythm. But when that presence disappears, the sudden stillness feels overwhelming. A woman begins to realize that his absence is not just the lack of sound, but the absence of care, protection, and unconditional support that he silently provided every single day. In relationships, words are often taken for granted. Promises, arguments, and apologies are exchanged, but it is the actions and presence that hold everything together. A good man often doesn't need to say much. His loyalty and love speak louder than any declaration. He proves himself through consistency, through showing up, through being reliable. When he leaves, there are no messages to read, no calls to answer, no comforting words to hear when life gets heavy. This lack of communication stings deeper than angry words ever could, because silence means finality. It means he is no longer there to share life's burdens. For the woman, the silence becomes a mirror. It reflects back her choices, her words, her actions that may have pushed him away. She begins to replay the moments when he tried to explain how he felt, the times he remained patient while she ignored his efforts, and the times she believed he would never walk away. In the silence, these memories grow louder, reminding her of what she did not value when she had the chance. Each memory feels like a sharp reminder that he endured so much until he could no longer stay. That realization becomes unbearable because silence does not give her a chance to argue or fix things. It leaves her alone with the truth. The silence also reveals how much space he occupied in her life without her even noticing. His consistent texts, his words of encouragement, his way of checking if she was safe, these became part of her daily routine. Without them, she feels emptiness, and that emptiness grows heavier with time. She realizes that the noise she once overlooked, the sound of his love, was what gave her strength and comfort. Now the void makes her appreciate what she dismissed as ordinary. What hurts most is that silence is irreversible. Words might have offered closure, arguments might have given her a chance to defend herself, but silence closes every door. It leaves her with nothing but her thoughts, her regrets, and her longing. It is in that unbroken quiet that she finally understands the magnitude of losing a good man. His silence becomes the lesson, louder than any words he could have spoken. Love must be cherished while it is present, because once it walks away, the silence it leaves behind can last a lifetime. When a woman loses a good man, she loses much more than just a partner. She may think at first that it is only the end of a relationship, but in reality, it is the loss of a foundation that gave her emotional stability, safety, and trust. A good man does not simply play the role of a boyfriend or husband. He becomes an anchor in her life. He is the one who encourages her when she feels weak, who listens when the world misunderstands her, who protects her when she feels vulnerable, and who makes her believe that she is worthy of love without conditions. Losing that presence is not just losing a person. It is losing the invisible shield that guarded her heart. That she is better off without him, that she can move on easily, or that she deserves something more exciting. In those initial moments, she may even feel a sense of freedom, believing she has regained control over her choices and her life. But as the days pass, pride begins to weaken, and reality starts to reveal its harsh truth. What once felt like liberation soon turns into a quiet, heavy regret. She starts to realize that she did not lose just a relationship, but a man who gave her love with patience, loyalty, and consistency, qualities that are nearly impossible to replace. This shift from pride to regret does not happen overnight. It begins with small memories that resurface unexpectedly. She might remember how he held her hand during tough times, how he stayed calm when she lashed out, or how he sacrificed his own comfort just to make her happy. These memories start to weigh on her heart. And suddenly, the reasons she thought were valid for letting him go seem insignificant compared to the love she has lost. Regret creeps in slowly, but once it settles, it becomes a constant companion. The contrast between pride and regret is painful because it exposes the difference between illusion and reality. Pride is temporary. It gives her a false sense of strength, a shield to hide her guilt and vulnerability. But regret is lasting. It comes from the realization that she undervalued something precious. And once a good man walks away, the chance to repair the damage is usually gone. This regret is heavier than any heartbreak caused by betrayal or rejection because it is self-inflicted. She knows deep inside that she had something rare, something most people spend years searching for, and she let it slip away. With time, regret transforms her perspective. She begins to notice how rare genuine loyalty is in others, how rare unconditional support feels, and how difficult it is to find someone who truly puts her needs before his own. Every encounter with someone new reminds her of what she lost. She may try to fill the void with distractions, but nothing feels the same. Regret becomes a shadow that follows her, whispering reminders of the man who once loved her deeply and asked for nothing but appreciation in return. The emotional toll of this regret is profound. It teaches her that pride often destroys what love works so hard to build. She realizes too late that love should never be taken for granted, and that humility, not pride, is what keeps relationships alive. In the end, the regret of losing a good man does not just live in her memory, it reshapes her understanding of love, loyalty, and the importance of valuing someone before they are gone. It becomes a permanent scar, a silent reminder that good men once lost cannot be replaced. Respect is the foundation of any relationship, and without it, attraction cannot last. When a woman rejects you, she is not only testing your emotional strength, but also observing how much respect you have for yourself. Many men make the mistake of chasing harder after rejection, trying to prove their worth, showering her with attention, or begging her to reconsider. What they don't realize is that every act of desperation lowers their value in her eyes. She may feel flattered in the moment, but she will not respect a man who places her above his own dignity. And without respect, she cannot truly be attracted to him. On the other hand, when a man chooses to walk away with his head held high,